In an old Far Side cartoon, Gary Larson drew a couple sitting at a table, and the woman looks really worked up and is speaking to the man who looks a little kind of slightly annoyed at her. And she's saying, "And another thing, I want you to be more assertive. I'm tired of everyone calling you Alexander the Pretty Good." I love the Far Side, and this particular comic not only amuses me, but I think also illustrates a great truth. Because that's true for all of us. God created us for greatness. None of us is meant to be just pretty good. We need to find that special spark that the Lord has placed inside us, and to hear the call for where our greatness lies, then really embrace it and persevere in pursuing that greatness, despite the hard work and the suffering that doing that will necessarily involve. But the first step in pursuing anything, especially something like greatness, is recognizing what we are searching for. And today's gospel is wonderful in the regard that it really helps us to understand what being great truly means. Jesus is telling his disciples about his coming passion, his death, the way that he will willingly lay down his life out of love for sinful humanity. And he's trying to get them to understand that that is the moment of his greatest success, his victory over evil. That is the point where his greatness is revealed to the world. And his followers spectacularly miss the point, as we're all liable to do more often than we'd like to admit. They hear what he's saying, realize that, have no idea what it means, and instead of trying to come to understand it, start bickering with each other about which one of them is the most important. And in that moment, they really missed an opportunity to experience something important. They had a chance to learn something from God himself. They had a chance to come to understand something essential and important. And instead, they wanted to compete with each other. They didn't want to really become great by improving themselves. They wanted to feel greater than the others by tearing each other down and saying, "Well, you think you're so important, but look at what's wrong with you." And in doing that, they're just keeping themselves the same and trying to adjust how they feel about themselves and how other people feel about them and themselves. And that's not Christ's way. Christ is calling them to a very different way of approaching life. He wants them to imitate him and his way of life, which is about serving others, which is about wanting to build up others, which is about recognizing that the value and the greatness that he needs comes not from people telling him how wonderful he is and saying how much lesser than him they are. It comes from a relationship with the Father. It comes from genuine love. It comes from giving of himself so that those around him also become great. That is the way that the Lord invites all his followers, those who are following him in the beginning and us today, to achieve greatness. And so let us strive for that. Because we too are called to be more than just pretty good. We're called to be the best versions of ourselves. And we can only do that if we are not afraid to keep learning every day of our lives, to keep serving one another, and to build up our own hearts and the hearts of those that we meet, so that by working together and by building each other up, we achieve greatness as one. So as we begin the season of Lent tomorrow, let us find the parts of us that need to be developed by grace, and to seek to grow greater by serving others, by prayer, by learning, and by love.